Hey folks, how are you doing? Thanks for joining me today on this, which is episode number 197 of our Tetrakey TV. I'm working from home this afternoon, which is a blessing. This morning I had smart pants and a smart shirt on, and this afternoon I've got a polo shirt and a pair of shorts. And I wanted to come to you today with something that I found very interesting this morning in a conversation I was having with a client. And it struck me that this client has got a broken filter when it comes to working certain things out for themselves. And then it suddenly, upon reflection, driving home, I suddenly realised that this is a filter that I think a lot of people have broken, and here's where the filter is. It's around things that we look for that might not necessarily be the case. So we often look for things that are absolute. People who say you must do this, never do that, always have to do this, only do it in that way, have to do it like that. There is only this way. There is a right way and a wrong way. And you see, I suppose at one point in time I would believe that. I might say that I always obey the law. But that would be wrong, because I know that I speed on occasions, not all the time, but there's an exception to the fact that I obey the law. You know, if I had to get my daughter to hospital quickly, there's a fair chance that I would go as fast as the environment would allow me to go to get her there quickly, regardless of what the speed limits are. For instance, if it was 3 o'clock or 3:30 in the morning on a dry night and I had to drive through the city to go or through a town to get to a hospital quickly, I probably wouldn't obey the speed limits. I'd probably ignore them. And therefore I've just broken the law. So as somebody who say they always abide the law, I've just contradicted my own thing. And so maybe when we look for those things, the musts, the always, the rights, the wrongs, maybe when we believe people who tell you they have the right answer, quite possibly we're leading ourselves up the garden path and setting ourselves up for failure. Because you see, for every absolute or perceived absolute, there is an area where you will break that absolute. I mean, after all, that's where development and progression happens. We have an absolute we believe to be true. So at one point in time, the absolute would be that we believed that you couldn't run faster than a 4-minute mile. That was broken. That you couldn't sprint 100 meters faster than 10 seconds. That was as fast as it was humanly possible. And yet Linford Christie proved us wrong. And so, do you want to be somebody who's restrained by this black or white, right or wrong, absolutes mindset? Or would you be better off talking about usually, or most of the time, or in most circumstances, this is the case? Certainly when I'm looking to contract with people to do services for Tetrakey, the people who give me the absolutes are the people who scare me, because it just shows me how little they know about their industry. Recently I've had some people in the IT field start giving me absolutes around SEO and Facebook and websites and whatever else. And yet they're talking about an industry that's moving faster than anything else on planet Earth at this point in time. So watch out for the danger words. We always do it like this. We have a tradition that it has to happen like that, so on and so forth. That's just a demonstration for you that those people are not on top of their game. There we go. So go and think about your filter. What words do you use and how do they box you in? If you always do something like this, then you'll prove yourself wrong at some point in time and come across as dishonest in a way to a person. Whereas if you usually do it like this, well, there's always allowed for you to have an exception then, isn't there? So there's my thoughts. There's my thought for today. Avoid those words and avoid people who use those words, and you'll find that your performance increases dramatically. I hope that's of use, and that's my brief thought. And maybe Mark and I'll come to you later. We'll see what happens. I hope you're having a great day, and please stay awesome.